It's Danielle DeVita back with another video. I overheard someone say that marriage is overrated. A lot of women say, I like the strong silent type. Well, a lot of men like the feminine silent type. And for sure, it's going down. So a lot of times people are not getting the value. When to speak and when to be quiet is one of the most powerful. She's going to be aggressive thinking that. And as someone who's been married for 12 years, he's driven, not lazy. And this will make yourself and get on the right path. That understand that you might be doing a disservice to your daughter. If you don't help her understand vetting and proper decision making, now she's going to be a basket case later. If you don't help her understand emotional intelligence, she's going to hold on to a lot of emotional baggage. If you don't. We live in a world where femininity, marriages, family, and courting is no longer valued. We live in hookup culture, situationships, and struggle love. The number one reason women struggle in long-term relationships, number one, femininity, and number two, staying in a relationship or entertaining people longer than the woman should. My name is Danielle DeVita, and I'm a relationship and femininity coach. I've been married for 12 years, and I want to help you get on your feminine journey and vet for the right man today. For more of my content, you can visit mrsdanielledevita.com, or you can go to YouTube, Instagram, or my Facebook page. Get on your feminine journey today. Welcome. We are live. Let me get on live here. Good night. And we are on live on Instagram. So welcome Instagram family and welcome YouTube and Facebook. So I have two different cameras that I will be going back and forth looking at each camera. So if this is your first time, thank you for taking the time to listen to my content. If you are returning, I appreciate it. So if you don't know about who I am, my name is Mrs. Danielle DeVita. I am a relationship and femininity coach. I have been married for 12 years, and I use my Tuesday and Thursday lives to provide free coaching. So you can do Q&A. You can request to join if you're on Instagram. You can use StreamYard, which I have a link that I'm putting in right now. And then you can request to get on if you have questions, or you can just use the chat and post your questions there. So feel free to go ahead and do that. So for those who are taking the time to post questions, comment, like, subscribe, I appreciate it. If you're just getting all the information that you want, and you're not subscribing, that's fine as well. I prefer you to subscribe, but I love that you can listen to my content and you can learn something new, because that's the goal, for you to be able to learn something new. So just so you know, today we're going to be talking about affirmations. Affirmations is a way to affirm people, let them know that you appreciate them and that they are adequate, that they mean something to you. When we hear about love languages, there are 5 different love languages. And one of the love languages is words of affirmation, which means you, through your words, you're telling this person how adequate they are, how good looking they are, or how they're, enough for you, what they mean to you, how you appreciate them, all those things. So this is what affirmations will do. There's other love languages, like a person receiving gifts. They will feel loved by receiving gifts. There's acts of service. So when you do something for them, they feel loved. if you spend quality time with them. Physical touch, these are ways that people can feel loved, and one of them is affirmations. Both men and women need affirmations in a relationship. Now, you can have more than one love languages, but one of the predominant love languages for men is words of affirmation. That's why respect is equal to love for men. If you can show your respect to the man that you're with, because what respect means is you admire this person, you look up to this person, you revere this person, not in a toxic way, but in a positive way. You look up to this person, their views, how they present themselves, their reputation, all of these things. Their accomplishments, you admire the kind of person they are. This is why I say character is important, because it's easier to respect people who do have a positive, good character, good morals, good values. I mean, you could try to admire someone who's not a good role model, but typically the goal is to admire someone who is doing something, who is fulfilling a purpose, and they make you feel good in some way. They're serving in some way where you feel like you're getting a benefit. And it's easy to admire people like that. These are good to have people in your lives that are like that. So in affirmations, we talk about just the simple things. They don't have to do big things. If a man is providing and taking care of his family, you're going to want to provide affirmations, show your appreciation, because a lot of times we say, I'm hearing women say through coaching, through observation, just casually listening to people's conversation, I hear people say, well, why do I have to congratulate this person? Why do they have to have a cookie for doing something they need to do? The thing is, there's a lot of women that can attest to this in the world, that the men that they have, or the men that they've been with, aren't doing what they need to do. So it's refreshing to see people that are living up to their responsibilities, that are doing their responsibilities without you as a woman having to push them to fulfill their responsibilities as a man, like taking care of his family, his children, taking the time to go to work. So your goal, just like with children are supposed to be good and go to school, but we praise children for doing these things because they don't have to. They could give us a headache, but when they're good children, we want to show positive, rewards, appreciation, things like that. Thank you for being a good kid. I am so proud to be your parent, right? We don't mind doing that. But when it's our spouse or our boyfriend, we have a problem saying, thank you for being a good man. I appreciate it. You're such a good husband. You're such a good man. You're such a good father. You're such a good provider. You're a great leader. I appreciate it. And these are what affirmations are. And men do the same. She does not have to cook and clean. These are things that women do when they love someone, because this is an act of service. So if a woman is doing this, if she's, when you go home and you actually feel like your home is a sanctuary, it's your peace, then you should say, thank you. I appreciate you providing peace. You're such a peaceful woman. I love how you take care of the children. I love how you take care of me. I love the meals that you prepare for me. I love the fact that, you do X, Y, and Z, because it's not easy. A lot of people have their children going to school, eating school lunch. I took the time to make my child's lunch. That's a lot of work. It really is. So sometimes children may not appreciate it, but it's good when your spouse or your boyfriend says, you know what? I like that you take the time to make our child's lunch. I appreciate that effort. Because even when my children were younger, I'd actually make their food. Instead of buying baby food, I would buy, the potatoes or the carrots or apples, and I would make applesauce. I would make the potatoes and put it in. I bought little jars, and I would put their food in jars and do all of that. So it's good when you have people in your life that are appreciating you for just the small things. So the same way I say appreciate a man just for being a good man, just for doing the things he needs to do. I appreciate that you always speak to me lovingly. I appreciate that you respect my views. I appreciate these things. So this is what you want to do. You want to show your appreciation. You want to affirm the person you're with. Like, so today, I wrote out, and I'm going to have some affirmation cards that you guys can purchase from me, because I'm going to make those. But like today, I wrote on on a little note, and I wrote on my husband's wallet on his way out the door because he grabs his wallet, and it says, "You're more than enough for me," and that made him feel good. Imagine your man knowing that he is enough, and everything that he does is more than enough. That he's adequate, that he's a leader, and that you're happy being with him. You're happy having him in your life. Now, these are words of affirmation. So your actions are also going to need to follow through with that. So if you say this person is a leader in your relationship, if there's someone you love, you're going to have to show it. What that means is talk to your man with respect. Talk like you like him. Talk like you love him, right? So again, I'm going to go back and forth because I have people over here I'm looking at from YouTube and Facebook and Instagram is over here. But again, we're talking about affirmations. All right, so we're back up. So if you had a interruption, I apologize, YouTube and Facebook. But again, we're talking about affirmations. And with affirmations, the goal is to make sure that we affirm the person that we're with. This is the person that you chose in your life. This is the person that you said that you wanted to have children with, that you wanted to be with. And now, if you did not plan to have children with them, the fact that you took the time to, lay down with them, that was the risk. So this is the person that you chose to entertain. This is the person that you either chose to marry, that you chose to be engaged with, the person that you decide to have children with, the person that you decided you wanted to sleep with. This is the person that you chose, right? So if this is the person that you chose, the goal is to make sure that of course, you're with the person that you do respect and that you do care about and love. So you want to make sure you do these affirmations. A man does not have to open the door for you, but if he is taking the time out his day to every time he opens doors, he pull out chairs and things, thank you. Say thank you. Sometimes we don't say thank you, and we wonder why men stop doing these romantic and chivalry things. It's because they realize what gratification is it, what appreciation is there. My husband, we've been married for 12 years. I've known him for 15. Has it been 15? Yeah. And so every time he pulls out a chair, thank you. I still say thank you. So we want to make sure we appreciate the person for what they're doing. Every time I cook him a meal, he says thank you. So, and he doesn't have to say it. He doesn't have to be a good man, but he chooses to, because remember, we all have free will in the world. We don't have to be good people. But when you choose to be a good man, when you choose to be a loving father, a loving husband, when you choose to do right, when you choose to be honest and respectful and loving, show that person that it's appreciated and it hasn't gone unnoticed. Because sometimes people may not want to keep doing these things that they feel like they're not, what they're doing is not appreciated. What's the point if this person doesn't appreciate every time you wake up? Like, for a good example is, a woman takes a whole hour to get ready, and she walks out and she's ready to go, and her man says nothing. How do you think she'd feel? She wants to hear him say, "Wow, you look good." In that way, she feel like I did it all for something. And every time they go out, she'll take the time to spend a whole hour in getting ready rather than throwing something on, because she knows that that whole hour is worth that. You look good. So the same thing a man wants when he comes home from work. He wants to be appreciated. Thank you for being a provider. Thank you for working late hours. A lot of times we're upset when our husbands work late. And sometimes I had to think to myself, should I be upset that he's working extra late at work? Sometimes it happens. Sometimes it is with me as well. So with the type of job he has, it's demanding. He may have to work late, right? But when he does, instead of getting upset, it's better to say, I appreciate the time that you're putting in the effort. I know you want to be home, but I appreciate the time of you being at work, sacrificing so we can have the things that we have, so we can have the home that we have, so we can be in the gated community that we're in, so our children can have the things that they have, so I can have that bag that I wanted, these shoes that I wanted, these clothes that I wanted. I appreciate it. And we want to do the same for women. I know you had, especially if she had to work, I know you had to work. And I appreciate the time that you've taken to make this meal for us and the children. I appreciate that you, all this that you do for the children, the schooling that you do. You stand up late at night helping them with their homework. I appreciate you going grocery shopping and getting the things that I want, fixing my lunch, ironing my clothes. I appreciate that. Now, if you're not married, I always talk about not giving benefits, wife benefits when you're not a wife yet. But there are some things that you can do to still show that you are wife material. And I know people do not like that term, wife material. But what I mean is you're showing the qualities of what a wife does. And what a wife does is not necessarily something domestic like cleaning and cooking, but her attitude, her loving attitude, her nurturing spirit, her encouragement. So words of affirmation are powerful because that's really words of encouragement. You're encouraging, you're not putting this person down, telling them they're not going to amount to anything, that their idea is stupid. What they're going to do is it's not going to work out. You're not being the Debbie Downer. You're not raining on their parade. You're the person, you're the cheerleader on the side, and you're saying, I'm happy, I'm rooting for you, and I'm here for you, right? So the goal again is to do words of affirmation. These are very powerful, even if this is not someone's uh, main love language. Everyone wants words of affirmation. It's ways of putting people, picking them up instead of putting them down. You looking good. So reminding people how good they look, how great they do well and satisfying you in any way. It's so important to affirm the person that you're with, because when you do that, it keeps them on notice of what it is they're doing, and they may want to keep doing it again. If someone is getting I know my son, he's 7. Every time he gets praised for something he's done, he wants to continue to do it again. So he realizes, same thing with pets, everything. Everyone notices that if you get some type of reward, you continue to do it again. And affirmations are a form of rewards. So you definitely want to do that. You want to affirm your partner. And it's really important because I notice a lot of women do not want to do that because they feel like he's doing what he needs to do. No, he chooses to do this. Now, I will say men need to hear this as well, because you are sometimes listening to people who are doing these alpha male strategies telling you that you don't need to do this because she's going to get the big head. First, consider the person that you're with. If you're with someone who you telling them that they're beautiful, you telling them that they're more than enough, you're telling them that you appreciate them. And if they are going to go on a deep end, then you need to address that situation. Now, if they're always that person that's on the deep end after you've addressed it, and it just seems like it's all about them and they're selfish, then you may need to consider, should I still be with this person if I can't even affirm them without them going crazy? Now, again, some people grew up not being affirmed, so they soak it all in and they want to hear it often. Some people need it more than others. But if it's becoming to the point where they get the big head and then they become controlling, or they basically some toxic behavior is a result of it, that your solution is not to pull back from affirmations. Your solution is to talk about it with them. We are grown-ups. We should be able to have serious conversations. We should. Instead of saying, well, I'm not going to talk about it, I'm just going to play these games. Games are for children, tricks are for kids, right? That's what the silly rabbit said, right? Tricks are for kids. We are grown-ups and we're going to talk things out. So I appreciate you taking the time to watch. I'm not, is it um, Arian. I'm not sure if I'm saying your name right, but I appreciate you taking the time to listen to my content. But I really think, and then who those who are on YouTube, I appreciate you watching as well. I really think that it's truly important that we make sure that we use affirmations as much as possible. Every day, think of something to say, even if you have to write it on a notepad. Try to say something. If you have children, work on it with your children. I know I put affirmations in my son's lunchbox, and it could be something like, "You're loved. You are a terrific kid. You are smart. You are handsome. You are lovely." If you have a daughter, affirm her, especially if she has natural hair, affirm her looks, affirm her, because what you don't want is other people they're getting their affirmations from the wrong person, and then it becomes like a peer pressure. Like, especially if it's a girl, she may get affirmations and try to get her attention from men, and it's not within herself. She doesn't have her own her identity, self-love, self-respect. So when she's getting some type of affirmations from the wrong guy, it can spiral. If you have sons, same thing. You don't want your son always wrapped around following girls around. No, he needs confidence. He needs to know that with or without a girl, he is someone important. This is, we start when they're young, because then when they're older, they won't have to have these conversations because they know how to easily affirm those who they're with. A lot of times people are doing certain things, playing games, because they're trying to get certain affirmations. Maybe if I do this, or maybe if I tell her she looks good and then take it back, she'll pull closer to me. But that's a girl who's insecure. If she responds to these types of games, she's insecure. Because the reason why she's pulling closer to you is because after you pull back that affirmation, she needs more of it. She needs to know that she feels like she's enough for you. So she's moving closer to you, not like physically, but she's moving closer to you. She's drawn closer to you in order for that next drop, that next word of affirmation. But do you want that type of unhealthy relationship? Because of what comes with the toxic woman comes a toxic situation. What comes with the toxic man is a toxic situation. And we want happy, loving, healthy, and cohesive relationships. And the only way we're going to do that is by having positive words of affirmation. We say it and we mean it. So if you have, like, for example, if you have, like my husband, if he's dependable, if I can trust him and he hasn't done anything to break my trust, then I would want to affirm that. I appreciate that I can depend on you and I can trust you. I appreciate it. So again, I apologize. I'm moving back and forth looking at both Instagram, two different cameras for Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. But I want to make sure you understand that this is highly important. So if you have any questions, if you want to talk about a time that, some times where you had to play games and felt just so you can get this woman or get this guy, or you feel like you needed to be affirmed in a relationship, or you're not being affirmed, or even in your marriage, in your relationship, that you're not feeling affirmed, put a question down below. If you have something that you want to say that a little deviates from the topic, go ahead, you can put it in. Today, of course, we do Q&A. We talk about any and everything, but the subject is affirmations. So all of this, well, why they need a cookie for doing what they need to do? No, we're going to affirm people. Now, the basic things, having proper conversation, being an adult. We're not going to affirm people for being an adult. You're an adult, right? But things that they don't have to do. If someone is not really good at communication, but they've taken the time to properly communicate, they're working at it. And you can see that they're working at it. Then you would say, I know sometimes this type of communication is hard. It's hard to articulate some of the things we want to say. And I appreciate your effort. I appreciate you taking the time to even trying to work at being a better communicator. I love that about you. I love this effort that you're applying. These things make people go, okay, well, she sees me. She sees when I'm trying. If your girl used to be disrespectful and you kept her on in a relationship, and you notice that she is trying her best to speak, with you, with more respect, respecting your ideas, respecting your views, affirm it. I appreciate that you've taken the time to show more respect. I love that about you. I love this effort that you're applying. I love that you're smiling more. I love that your upbeat personality. I love that you're in good spirits. So please, 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 please make sure that you affirm your partner, affirm your children. So this is not everything that I talk about is not just for relationships, romantic relationships, but you can use this in all forms of relationships. Think about it. Managers do this to their employees. Great job. And then they somehow promote you or they say terrific job on this project you did. Imagine if you did all this hard work at your job and no one affirmed you, told you how you are a great employee or great at your position, or you did a great job on this project or this speaking position, this report. If no one affirmed you, you would feel that you have no value on this job and you would go elsewhere. Do you want your spouse to go elsewhere because they're not receiving affirmations? Granted, you need to do your part to make sure you receive affirmations. So if you want your spouse to say, or your boyfriend or girlfriend to say that you are looking good, then you need to be applying your best effort to look desirable, to look good. That's the goal. The goal is to apply your best effort, and people are going to affirm that effort. We're not going to affirm you not doing anything. Because what are we affirming? Thank you. I appreciate you sitting down, watching TV all day and not going to work. No, we're not going to affirm that. We're going to affirm you applying your best effort. I appreciate you applying effort in how you look. I appreciate you applying effort in your communication. I appreciate these things that you've done for me. I appreciate you for loving me, even through my imperfections and being patient with me. I appreciate it. I love you for that. You satisfy me. You are more than enough. You're all I need. You are all I need. I appreciate that I can depend on you, that I can trust you and know that I can trust you. I appreciate that you um, um, safeguard my heart and allow me to be vulnerable. I appreciate that. So this is what you want to do. If you have any questions, you can definitely post them in the comment section. You can request to join if you're on Instagram, StreamYard for Facebook and YouTube. So I'll sit for a little bit. And if anyone comments, that'd be great. If not, I'll definitely get off the stream early because as I said before, I won't be doing hour streams, like 1 hour streams, if it's not necessary. I will go longer if I feel engagement or if I have, of course, if my subject matter tends to go that long. But I will make my streams shorter if need be. Alrighty. So again, while I wait for that, I'll wait about 2 minutes. So again, if you want to get on StreamYard, there's a link you can get on and make sure you're appropriate when you do get on, camera ready. And if you do get on camera, I appreciate that you do get on camera fully clothed and prepared to be in dialogue. I don't mind having difference of opinions. I know sometimes people want people to talk the same, thing that they're saying. But I do like, and I appreciate people who have the same conversations that I have and traditional values and views. But it's great to talk to people who do have opposing views because this is how we get the dialogue. You're not going to always be in a relationship where those are going to have the exact same views as you, and you want to be able to have a diplomatic and amicable way to be able to approach these types of issues and get different perspectives, especially with someone of the opposite gender, because sometimes men and women could view the same situation differently. Doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means we process things differently. So again, we're talking about affirmations, affirming the person that you're with, because people choose to do right by you. And we want to appreciate that they've made the right choice, the choice that makes us feel comfortable in being vulnerable with them, happy to be with them, happy to grow old with them, appreciative of them, the fact that they've taken this time and this effort and this investment to do right by us. And then what I'm going to do here, okay. And so I didn't get anything here yet. So what I'll do is I can end the live stream in the next few seconds. Let me put this up here so I can do that. If you want to know more about my content, you can go to mrsdanieltavita.com. You can see all that I offer. I do a lot of the content on my website is for women, but I do coaching for men. I do speak to men. If you've listened to my live streams, you see a lot of these things can be applied to both genders. Knowing your worth. Men should know their worth as well. Words of affirmation, crossroads, all of these things. If you go to my recorded videos that I have on my YouTube, you can see clips that I have on Instagram talking about, um, a man who leads. I would say a woman as well. Or you would remove love and put respect. A woman, you want to be with a woman who is respectful. She elevates, aspires for greatness, dedicated to the things and the people who she says she loves and cares about, and also she serves her purpose and she's careful of the people who she entertains. So some of these things can be applied both ways. I talk to both men and women. I do a lot of things for young girls. So I have a nonprofit that helps young girls, a princess mindset. So my goal is to help people to grow in happy and healthy and cohesive environments, and it starts with families. It starts with both the spouse or those in a relationship. And when they get things together, they can have children grow up in that. Or those, if they already have children, the children can then see a new dynamic, a new, change these generational curses to generational blessings. So that's my goal, is to change the family dynamic to a healthy one, especially in the Black community. We want to stick together. We want our families to be happy and healthy, because the government, on many cases, have tried to strike that down. And taking men out of our homes, right? And tell women, what you need is the government. You don't need a man. You need the government to help you out. And so this happens across the board, but we want to make sure that we are not just getting with any man and say, well, I had a child with a man who's no good. We don't want to do that. I have a baby mama I can't stand. We don't want that. We want you to make the right decision, so you're with someone who is enough, who is adequate, who is worthy to carry your child, right? This child is worthy to have your last name because you are a man of worth and you are deserving of this legacy. So we don't want people just making babies, both men and women. We don't want that. This is the time, especially if you're in your 20s and 30s, to get it right. Make the change today to be a better version of yourself. So no more of, this is the way I am, this is how I am. We don't want to do that, because today is the day you can change. Every day you're alive, you can make a new beginning. You can change for the better. There's no time like the present. So let's not be stuck in the past. And the only way we're going to aspire for greatness and move to the future is when we realize a change can be made, and we can start today. We can start right now to say, I will be better. The way I speak to people, not just the person who I'm entertaining, not just romantic partners, but the way I speak to others around me, whether it's my children, whether it's my coworkers, people out on the street, how I speak to people, I'm going to be better. How I act, my reactions, my emotions. I'm going to harness my emotions. How I elevate people, what I say to people is going to add value to them, not put them down. I'm going to elevate them. I'm going to aspire to be better in all aspects of my life, career wise, you know, whatever I do, I'm going to aspire to be better. I'm not going to be mediocre. You're going to learn to be dedicated to these things that you care about, the people you say you care about, the things that you say you care about. So you're not going to be a procrastinator. You're going to be driven to these things that you say that you care about, and put time and effort in it, and quality time. You're not just going to talk the talk, but not walk the walk. And you're going to serve your purpose through your gifts, your talents, your expertise. You're not just going to be doing things yourself, but you're going to benefit those around you. So you're not going to be selfish. Everything you're not going to do is just for you and you getting money, but to help others. And whatever it is that you do, right? You're going to be careful of the people that you entertain, the people you have children with. You care about family. Yeah. You care about healthy families. This is the person you want to be. And for this, you will have a better life. Whether you want a traditional, if you have traditional views or not, these things that I said can be applied in any aspect. Doesn't matter what gender you are, what your sexual orientation is, all these things will make you a better person. Kenyon, thank you for coming in. All of these things will make you a better person. All the way around, no matter what your belief is. It doesn't matter what my belief is either. What matters is what I'm saying can help you in all aspects of your life. You will be a better mother. You will be a better father. You will be a better husband. You will be a better wife. You will be a better boyfriend. You will be a better boyfriend. You will be a better employee, a better child, a better friend. You can do all of these things. And it doesn't matter what sexual orientation. It doesn't matter what you look like, what gender, what race, where you live. You can do these things. And this is free. This is free to make this kind of change in your life. You don't have to wait for a New Year's resolution to do it either. You're going to start today in eating better and wanting to look better. You're going to try to put a smile on your face. And sometimes it's hard, especially depending on what you're going through. And I'm so sorry if you're going through a tough time, but I know things will get better for you because you're going to transform your mind to do so. All right, so this is all I have for you. Thanks for tuning in to another live stream with Mrs. Danielle DeVita. It's always a pleasure to be here. Again, Tuesdays and Thursdays, I do my live, so you'll see me here on Tuesday. So I'll be back. You can also check me out on the Philip Scott Show, which I do videos as well there. So thanks for tuning in. If you missed it, go back on the replay. All right, take care. Bye-bye. Mrs. Danielle DeVita back with another video. I overheard someone say that marriage is overrated. A lot of women say, I like the strong silent type. Well, a lot of men like the feminine silent type. And for sure, it's going down. So a lot of times people are not getting the value. When to speak and when to be quiet is one of the most powerful. She's going to be aggressive thinking that. And as someone who's been married for 12 years, she's driven, not lazy. And this will make yourself and get on the right path. That understand that you might be doing a disservice to your daughter. If you don't help her understand vetting and proper decision making, now she's going to be a basket case later. If you don't help her understand emotional intelligence, she's going to hold on to a lot of emotional baggage. If you don't We live in a world where femininity, marriages, family, and courting is no longer valued. We live in hookup culture, situationships, and struggle love. The number one reason women struggle in long-term relationships, number one, femininity, and number two, staying in a relationship or entertaining people longer than the woman should. My name is Danielle DeVita, and I'm a relationship and femininity coach. I've been married for 12 years, and I want to help you get on your feminine journey and vet for the right man today. For more of my content, you can visit MrsDanielleDeVita.com, or you can go to YouTube, Instagram, or my Facebook page. Get on your feminine journey today.